been a big push in our country to put body cams on all officers. I want to tell you that we've long had video cameras in our cars, both in the front and in the back, to capture prisoners. Body cameras we've already tested here in the city of Dearborn, and body cameras catch an essential truth that's needed in our line of work. And I support body cams, but they're not the total end-all. I know there was a recent survey. I'm not going to comment on it. I've not seen it. I can tell you that my officers have asked me not to look at it. And I want you to know that we've been very fiscally responsible for the whole 8 years that I've been here. We've come under budget every one of the years. We have trained our officers to the tune of about 6,000 hours of training per year. Under my tenure, I'm very proud of the fact that I've hired more people with college degrees than ever in the history of this city. And our crime rate is down by 25% over the last 7 years, and I'm very proud of the work of the men and women here. I want to say that I'm very proud of my hiring efforts here, that we've hired the first Arab American female in the history of the city into our force. We've hired not only the first, but we've hired 3 African American women, and that's never happened in the city of Dearborn. We've hired many Arabic-speaking officers here, and there have been some reports about some that have left here, but I would suggest to you, without getting too personal about it, that they found out this job was not for them. I think the most prevalent concerns I have today obviously are officer safety, because there's a very angry mood in the country, and and I'm not going to blame all of our problems on social media, but with the social media, somebody can pose a threat, somebody can pose an idea, and although we can usually in very short order reach out and touch that person, millions of people can read that suggested act of violence, and it's hard to know who's serious and who's not. So I'm very concerned about officer safety. You know, there's several crimes in Dearborn that the community can help with. Number one, domestic violence. If we engage our community, if we become more understanding that domestic violence is unacceptable, we can lessen those types of crimes. And you lessen them by reporting them when they happen, because they always reoccur. Another crime that we can obviously help out with is, you may have seen our Lock It or Lose It campaign. We have 900 crimes a year that happen because people forgot or refused to lock their cars. There is an unfortunate trend to paint Arab and Muslim populations with one broad brush related to terrorism, and I find that there are 2 views of Dearborn. The real view, where everybody knows that it's a modern American city, it's a diverse city and everyone gets along, and then outside of the city people paint us as terrorists at times. They call me the Taliban police chief, the Sharia police chief. I ignore those kind of things. But you know, I feel bad for our community. So as much as we can try to paint a positive image of our city, we don't miss a chance to do that. You know, recently there's been some inquiries from the media about covering up a drunk driving case with an individual that happened to be the mayor's son. I can tell you that those allegations are preposterous. He was treated just like everyone else. There are some people that would have me treat him worse than everyone else, and I will never be any part of that. I go on record as saying we treated him like everyone else. There was other victims involved, so there was a cause not to disclose every little finite part of the case, and the young man went into court and pled guilty. I simply reject any thoughts that you could cover something like that up. You know, when we talk of crime in the South End, for example, the incidents of crime are the best in our city. They're the lowest. Now, there's two areas that I think we can focus on. Number one, property crime. Again, if you lock your car, you lock your garage, you see somebody that looks out of place, call us. The other area that I'm not very happy about is there seems to be an increase in drug use. On traffic stops, we're catching people with illicit drugs or a large quantity of narcotic pills. And I think that community awareness and education is key. You know, I'm often asked when I go around the country and when I go and serve on these committees in Washington, would your people report acts of terror? And I always respond with great amazement. I said, they report every kind of crime. So there's no doubt in my mind that they would report an act of terror.